it can be overwhelming to figure out which new tools are actually worth your time. So this year I've tested out hundreds so you don't have to do all that testing. And today I'm sharing a dozen or so that really stood out. These are tools that genuinely are making my work easier and better. They help me mine insights from my notes. They help me remember key points from meetings, design visuals, even code a little bit without being a developer. Let's start with search. You know how frustrating it can be to wade through endless Google search results, right? That's where Perplexity comes in. Instead of giving you a wall of links, it gives you something much more useful, a clear summary of what you need to know, backed up by reliable sources. I've been curious about the writers who influenced Shakespeare, for example, which is the search we're looking at now as an example, and particularly about Montaigne's influence. So it was interesting for me and useful to see the thinkers noted in this search with helpful citations. You can see those here listed throughout the text so that I can actually go and follow up. What I love about it is that you can actually see where the information is coming from, follow up on it, and it suggests also smart follow-up questions. So you can see some of the questions that I've followed up on here as well. Next up is NotebookLM. And this is a really exciting tool that's helped change how I handle research. Think of it as having a really smart research assistant who's read everything that you have. You can throw up to 50 documents at an individual notebook, and you can have 100 notebooks, millions of words, because each document can have 500,000 words in it. You'll find connections you might have missed. It's cool that you can always go back and see exactly where the information that it's sourcing is coming from so that you know it's not hallucinating anything. Next up is a meeting recording tool. We all know how much time we spend in Zoom calls, right? So Fathom has been consistently useful for me this year. It records my meetings like a really efficient assistant, takes notes, gives me a clear summary afterwards. What makes it special, though, is that you can click on any point in the summary and jump right to that moment in the recording. Same thing with the transcript. No more scrolling through hour-long recordings to try to figure out where that discussion happened. I use it to share recordings of my workshops so people can jump to parts that they want to see of particular interest. I also sometimes use the highlight button so I can mark something during a meeting or during a workshop that I want to return to, or to highlight something interesting or important. And that saves future search time. And it also makes it easy for other people to benefit from the information that you're gathering. Next up is Claude Projects. This is one of my absolute favorites. It's an AI tool that basically makes sure I don't have to start from scratch. Most tools forget conversations you have to start over. Claude Projects actually maintains context about your work. And you can upload documents like your past work, resource guides, style guides, whatever's relevant. And it actually understands and references those in your conversation. Here's an example where I uploaded books that we've read, 80 books in a book group, and it gave me some ideas about how to summarize our criteria and what kinds of books we tend to focus on. Let's talk about an editing tool. For those of us who spend a lot of time with our own words, crafting our own writing, Lex is like having a thoughtful editor looking over your shoulder. What makes it special is how it catches not just errors, but helps spot cliches and suggests clearer ways to explain complex ideas. If you do any kind of professional writing, whether it's emails, reports, creative work, it can help streamline your editing process because it has predefined checks. So you can ask it to check for grammar, cliches, passive voice, readability, brevity, repetition. You can even customize your own to ask it to point out when you're using jargon, for example. So it's really like a supercharged digital editor that assists you if you don't have a team of copy editors to rely on, and really easy to use. Here's an example of a little Lex doc. Descript is amazing because it makes editing multimedia as simple as editing a Google Doc. You can basically edit your video just by editing the transcript. Delete a word in the text, it disappears from the video too. It's been around for a couple of years, but it's improved. There's a lot of new AI features that even better than before remove background noise, and ums and ahs are eliminated, and allows you to create a YouTube summary, for example. It just has a lot of really great features. Here's one that surprised me this year, Windsurf Cascade. If you've ever had an idea for an app or a website or a game you wanted to create, but you didn't know how to code it, this is for you. Lets you build working prototypes without any coding knowledge. You just describe what you want to create and it helps you build it step by step. It's really, really easy to use. I've been able to build a few little games and little applications. I'm really excited to see what else I can learn and build with it. For creating quick infographics, Napkin has been a revelation for me. It helps transform complex information into clear, engaging visuals in a matter of minutes. What's great about it is that you don't need to be a designer. You can start with a simple description of what you want to show, like a framework or process that you're explaining, and it generates multiple visual options for you that you can then edit and customize. Finally, for those times when you're actually leading an online meeting or workshop and you want to make it really engaging, Butter is an amazing new resource for those teaching occasions. It's called Butter Scenes. It's a new element after Butter, the meeting tool. I've been using it a lot to experiment. I'll be using it in 2025 for live workshops. And we all know how tough it can be to keep people engaged online. And so Butter Scenes basically allows you to have polls, discussions, brainstorming, whiteboarding, as well as showing your slides all on a second screen. And you can use whatever meeting tool you already use and don't have to switch with all that awkward fumbling with screen sharing and all that. So super, super useful tool for so many different use cases. Ideogram is an image tool I love. You can create all kinds of cool images just by prompting. It also allows you to create text and images really well. And then finally, there's Craft, which is one of my favorite tools for creating shared resources and handouts. It's a beautiful tool, beautifully designed, easy to use. You can start using it for free. It's like a note-taking app, but it actually allows you to create handouts and travel guides and resources and reports. So it's got so many different benefits that I really, really love. These are just some of the standout tools that I have enjoyed in 2024. And I use a lot of other tools like ChatGPT's advanced voice mode and DALL-E image generation. I use Hypernatural for creating social video, Beautiful.ai for creating great slides, and some newer tools like WhisperFlow for dictation with AI applied, and Lazy for organizing notes and quickly capturing and organizing ideas. I write about all these tools regularly in Wonder Tools, where I test out what's actually useful versus what's just hype or what's redundant. If you're curious about any of these tools or want to stay updated on new ones I discover, I encourage you to check out the newsletter and continue reading it if you're already reading it. What I'm really excited about is that we're just at the beginning of this AI era, and there's so many new things being created by really great, innovative, creative small teams of creators all around the world who are creating all these new services and apps. And it's a really exciting moment to be able to take advantage of all these tools. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have questions about any of these tools or other input to share.